Hey, welcome everybody. The August 23rd Father, Son, and Holy Sport NFL show. I'm G-Man. That's T Money over there in Cincinnati. What's up, T?
What's going on, G-Man? One step closer
Hey.
every week to getting to real football. And we've got our fantasy football draft completed. It's been a good week here.
Yeah. I know. I'm pleased with my team. All you fantasy managers, you can check out my team, man. Really excited about this year. Defending the G-Man title, brother. T Money's trying to come after me.
Trying.
Yeah. Hey, we've got a good show for you here coming up today. Ross Rundown coming at you all. And then we're going to do some fantasy for your fantasy managers. Going to get you ready for your draft or ready for your season. And next week, we bring in big bets. We're going to give you our futures picks. And today, during the rundown, we're going to give you a special treat, our AFC predictions. So that's what we're going to focus on in the rundown. Let's get to it. Hey, y'all, do us a favor. Press the like and subscribe. We appreciate your support. All right, T-Money. I'm going to kind of lead us off here. We're doing the all AFC today. We're picking the divisions, and then we're going to pick the AFC champion at the end. So stay tuned, everybody. Let's start with that AFC East, T-Money. We'll let you go first on this one. We got the Bills and the Dolphins and the Jets and the Patriots, baby. What do you like there in terms of who makes the playoffs and who wins that division?
I think two playoff teams are coming out of this division. But I think the Miami Dolphins will win the AFC East this year.
Whoa!
I know they're third right now in odds, betting-wise. But I think that they were on a roll last year with Tua. I think he stays healthy this year. They have every weapon in the world. Shoot, they might get Jonathan Taylor now. They got a solid defense. I like the way they're headed. I like their coach. I think they have everything they need to win this division. And I think the Bills are going to take a step back this year. They've just been a lot of infighting. They lost their defensive coordinator. Josh Allen's 1 year removed again from Brian Dable. So I think they're headed in the wrong direction. And hey, it's okay. Every team can't stay at the mountaintop like Patrick Mahomes can. So I think Miami makes it. And then I think the Bills still squeeze in, but the Jets might be that other team from this division. But I think one team from this division will make the playoffs outside of Miami.
So you got Miami as your winner, the Bills as your wild card out of the East. Man, Team Money coming out of the gates here on Wednesday. It's a Wednesday recording, everybody. So be aware of that as we make our predictions and things for the weekend. And I'm going to tell you my AFC East, Team Money. You want to hear my AFC East? You're going to be surprised because I'm not the same as you, man. I'm going with the chalk here to win this division. You know who the chalk is. That's the Bills, baby. I'm going with the Bills to win this division. They've won 3 consecutive divisions. Okay, they're going to do it again. Why? Because they got Josh Allen, third in last year's MVP race, and you know all the stuff he can do. They're a top 10 team on both sides of the ball. They can handle anybody. They do have some issues. Their schedule is grueling. Non-divisional games on the road, man. Tough games there, but I still think they come out of this thing and they win this division. So I'm going Bills to win. I'm a little concerned about Stephon Diggs, and that's why I took Gabe Davis in my fantasy, all you fantasy managers, because Stephon Diggs imploding. They lose a couple games, Stephon Diggs, I don't know what he's going to do on that sideline. I don't think everything's right there. So they're going to be riding on the edge here if they have some setbacks. But I'm going Bills, man, to win it. And I'm going my wild card pick, T-Money, is the Jets. Miami does not make the playoffs in G-Money's prediction.
Ooh, man.
The Jets come in there and do it. Why? I love their defense. Best defense in the division last year. Second best scoring defense in the whole NFL. And what's their biggest issue? The guy that's getting all the hype. Mr. Hype, Aaron Rodgers. That's their biggest issue. Is he really going to do it? I'm tired of watching Hard Knocks and him joking around. He thinks he's so cool. And everybody else thinks he's cool. But you know what? He loses one game, throws a couple picks. Those Jets fans will be down his throat.
Yeah.
Don't think that you got it made, Aaron. You better perform, baby. I still think they get in. With that defense, I think Aaron does the job and manages this thing, gets them into the playoffs. Jets get the wild card in the AFC East.
All right. Very interesting. I'm giving Miami their first win of the division since 2008, and Gary just goes chalk. So it'll be interesting.
Well, we go chalk, but I did go Jets on there. Jets are lower odds to make the playoffs than the Dolphins. So I kind of went out on a limb there with the Jets. Yeah. Dolphins are still favored ahead of the Jets in the East to get through. All right, so let's go to the AFC North, baby. The Bengals, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Browns. Had the Bengals and Ravens last year both had double-digit wins. And the Browns are the only one with a losing record. What do you see happening this year in that division?
I think I'm going to go chalk on this one here, but I think two are also making it from this division. I think the Ravens will be the wild card with the Bengals winning. But honestly, I think it could be flipped either way. I think it's going to come down to the wire with both of these teams. It may come down to a team getting swept and a tiebreaker this year. The Ravens could easily win this division. They have a great ceiling, but they also have a pretty big floor. I do think the Steelers are going to make it hard for everyone this year. I think they're going to be a pretty decent team. I think they got a lot of good weapons. I think they're going to be on that playoff cusp. But just like the Jets, they're going to miss out. And then the Browns kind of lower in this division. They just don't have the defense yet. And Deshaun Watson's too big of a question mark. So the Browns, even though I think this probably is the best division in football, I think that just the Bengals and Ravens make it. I'm going to say the Bengals win right now. But I go back and forth in my head. It could be the Ravens. And, I would not be shocked at all. They won 10 games last year with Lamar not playing a lot. So the Ravens are very dangerous team.
All right, so you got Bengals to win it. Ravens get in on the wild card from the North. All right, I'm making notes. I'm copying this down to see who gets it right here, everybody. We hold ourselves accountable at Father Son Sports. Hey, let's go to G-Man's picks. Bengals are in the playoffs. They're going to do it again. They had a top 5 scoring defense last year. Everybody talks about their offense. That's going to be better. But their defense was also very good. And I think they've added to the offense. They got Orlando Brown to come in at left tackle from Kansas City. So they even hurt Kansas City there, beefing up that protection for Burrow. I think their issue is the schedule. Road trips to San Fran, Jacksonville, Kansas City. And they've got some challenging home games. I think they lose 11-6. That gets them in the playoffs, though. Burrow's 3-3 in that AFC North. He's not great against the North. He's much better against all the other divisions than he is in the North. But Bengals have won 2 straight division titles. I don't think they get it here. I'm picking the Ravens to win this division. Bengals get in on the wild card. Baltimore defense was top 3 in the NFL last year. Yeah. I like strong defenses in the playoffs, especially. The Ravens have a better defense than the Bengals. I like that part. I think Lamar's back, as you said, for the full season. I'm counting on him being there for the whole season. And the Ravens have an easier schedule than Cincinnati. That's why I think they get 12 wins. Cincinnati gets 11, and the Ravens take it. And that's what I see happening then at North, man. Lamar motivated with that little contract that is going to motivate him to really perform well.
Yeah, I like it. I go back and forth myself, every day. I think I picked the Ravens last year to win the division, but Lamar just got hurt. I definitely could see this going either way. It really is a coin flip for me. I think, like you said, it's going to be one team wins 12, one team wins 11, or it's going to come down to some odd tiebreaker when they both have 12. I can see it going either way. I just lean Bengals because, like you said, I love the Orlando Brown edition, and those weapons are just elite. If the defense can stay competent, it'll be interesting.
Well, you lean Bengals because you look outside your window and there's the stadium. I
got I'm staring at Paycor right now. How can I not?
I mean, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Hey, let's go to the AFC South. We're halfway through the AFC. Next week, we'll do the NFC. Hey, AFC South last year, Jacksonville got it. They were 9-8. the only team with a winning record in the AFC South last year. T-Money, how do you see it unfolding this year?
Oh, this will be a quick one. Jacksonville Jaguars, easy win. I placed a bet on this mid-summer when they were like plus 500 to win this division.
Woo!
So, yeah, that was easy money. Now they're favorite. They're minus 155. So this is an easy one. Jacksonville's going to take a huge leap this year. They won a playoff game last year. This division is horrible. So easy cut and bait. No one else makes it.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you there, man. I'm with you there. I think Jacksonville gets in, and they should have a pretty good record. Their schedule's, workable.
Yeah.
They could have they should have double-digit wins here coming into the playoffs. And Indy starting a rookie, Houston starting a rookie. I just don't see them rising to the occasion to get into the playoffs with a rookie quarterback or the ones that they have. Tennessee, nope, I don't see it, man. I'm going with Lawrence and the Jags. They had that big win in the playoffs against San Diego, man. Big win for them, but then they lost to Kansas City last year. It's a weak division. The AFC South's weak. They'll roll through that. They got the best quarterback. They got a great coach. They win this thing and get some momentum going right into the playoffs. All right, hey, let's go to the AFC West. We're agreeing on the South. Let's see if we agree on the West. I bet we have the champion the same. Hey, last season, AFC West was supposed to be the toughest division. You have Russell coming in. Everybody was like, oh, my God, this is the most unbelievable division. KC wins again. The Chargers do get in the playoffs last year, but the Raiders and Broncos don't. What do you see happening this year, T-Money?
A little bit more chalk. I think they'll be moving on the bottom half here. Kansas City's going to be in, no question. Chargers, I think, take a big leap this year, maybe even get a playoff win. I like the Chargers a lot. They have the pieces in every place that you need them. They have phenomenal edge rusher. They have phenomenal safeties. They have solid cornerback play. They have a decent offensive line to above average offensive line, quarterback, weapons. They have everything they need to make a run at this thing. Unfortunately, they're in Kansas City's division. So Kansas City's going to win this thing. Chargers second. Raiders third. They're going to be better than people think. But just, Jimmy G's a quarterback that, you might get 6-7 wins. The Denver Broncos been chirping a lot, talking a lot. Sean Payton, big expectations now, and I just think they fall flat on their face. But yeah, to get in, again, from this division, the Chargers are the wild card.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you again here, man. KC, how do you go against KC? They've won 12 wins, 5 straight seasons. Last year, they had 14 wins. And they'll win this thing again. This will be their 8th consecutive division title if they do it again. So just amazing run here by Kansas City. And too bad the Chargers are in that same division. But I got the Chargers getting in, just like you do. They should make it in. They didn't do a lot. When I look at their team, they picked up a couple guys, but the biggest thing probably was the offensive coordinator change because Staley, man, him calling the plays. I like him now with a professional OC in there. That could make a difference.
Yeah.
Not sure about their defense stacking up against some of these other AFC teams, but I do think that they get in, and it could be between the Chargers and the Dolphins for that last playoff spot, and I think the Chargers get it.
Yep.
Okay, so, hey, I got the Bills, Jets, Ravens, Bengals, Jags, Kansas City, and Chargers. You got pretty much the same thing, except you've got Miami and not the Jets. So we got 6 of the 7 the same. T-Money, what do you see happening? Who wins this playoff? Who wins the AFC Championship? Who's the runner-up?
Oh, man, this is going to be interesting. Who wins it? I'm going to go with Kansas City over the Miami Dolphins.
Woo! Okay.
I just think the Dolphins have a crazy high ceiling, and Kansas City's going for dynastic stuff now. They're doing things where they're just on another level of everyone. They're just playing free. They started the second most rookies, I believe, of anyone in the NFL last year and still won a Super Bowl. So they're actually pretty young, and their defense is only getting better. I think they're headed in the right direction on the defensive side. And as long as Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback, your offense is going to be okay.
Yeah, that's a big pick there with the Dolphins. They're plus 3,000 to win the Super Bowl. I've got some higher odd teams than that. That's a big pick there. Miami getting to that final would be a big thing, T-Money. You really are high on Miami this year. I'm going with Kansas City to win it. Kansas City wins, they get back to the Super Bowl. They won their second Super Bowl in 5 seasons last year. 2 out of 5. They're not losing their edge. They've not lost any of their edge.
No.
Okay, so they should get back in there into the Super Bowl again. I got a wild card key team coming through to play them. That's going to be the Bengals. Bengals, this will be their 3rd straight trip to the AFC Championship game. If my prediction is correct, this time they do it from the wild card spot. And they've beaten Mahomes and the Chiefs 3 out of 4 games, so they could pull the upset, but I'm going with the sure bet here. I'm going KC over the Bengals in that championship game.
Yep, makes sense. I mean, the Bengals are great. I would not be surprised at all. It's
so you support my pick. You like my pick.
I support it. Of course I do. Look at my boys are right here. So of course I do.
No, good picking, T-Money. We will see. It looks like it's going to come down to the Jets and Miami between us. See who's got this thing picked out right, man. So
watch out! If Tua's
this.
healthy, that's a dangerous team. He was #1 passer rating in the NFL last year. You know that is a dangerous team when healthy.
When he's healthy, yeah, that's the key. Can he stay there the whole season?
I am thinking he can. If he can't, then Miami has a whole other problem to deal with.
Yeah.
But if they can stay healthy, that guy and that team is dangerous.
Yeah. I got you. So, hey, man, good picking. I look forward to seeing that. We'll do the NFC next week, everybody. Let's roll over to fantasy. You guys want to talk some fantasy? Let's go, man, all you fantasy managers. We got some special version of our usual games for the preseason here. So a little bit, unorthodox here as we work our way to the first games. This is preseason week 3 coming at us here Thursday night. We got a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday slate of games, 4 days of games, T-Money this week on the final preseason game. And then 2 weeks from this Thursday is the first game. So that's kind of setting it up for us. And let's go through this. Let's go through the quarterback, hot and cold. We're going to cover a special version of the hot and cold T-Money. T-Money doesn't know what I'm asking him in this fantasy segment. And we all love that because T-Money knows his stuff and he likes to be surprised. So we want to see how he reacts here to the quarterback, hot and cold T-Money. I'm talking about week 10. I want you to look out at week 10. I want you to tell me, T-Money, in week 10, which of these 3 quarterbacks is most likely to still be starting? Is it Baker Mayfield? Is it Brock Purdy? Or is it Ryan Tannehill? Which of those 3 do you see still starting in week 10?
Brock Purdy.
Okay. That was pretty confident.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be hard for him to lose his starting job. He did go to the AFC champion or NFC championship game last year. So, he is undefeated. He's going to have a few losses under his belt, and that Niners team is too good to go on some sort of losing streak anyways. So, I don't think he's going to lose supposedly
I'm a little concerned with that arm, though. What about you?
Supposedly he's feeling great and throwing great. I'm sure I'm a little concerned, but hey, I'm like more concerned about Tua in his head than I am, I think Baker and the Bucks, I think they'll be fine, but they're not going to make the playoffs. So they may just be like, hey, we're going to see what Kyle Trask has. And the Titans, I think they're going to be fine. They might win 6 games, but I think they're going to say, hey, we want to see what Will Levis has. So I just think eventually these teams move on purely because they want to see what they have in the other quarterback, not necessarily that they've lost their starting job. So that's what I think happens to those 2.
They're bringing in the younger guys because they're not having a good season, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not because they're going to lose the job, but because they just want to – the teams are ready to move on. Next phase.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Good pick, T-Money. I think you're probably right there. Hey, let's go to a running back hot and cold. Hot and cold situation in Indianapolis. Jonathan Taylor, not happy, looking around. Hey, and Irsay, man, you lost my respect, Irsay. I'll tell you, man, I'm disappointed in that guy. Not only what he's doing, but how he's acting. He's not valuable enough to pay him, yet they want a first round pick for him. That doesn't make sense, man. Pay him if he's worth a first round pick. Give him the cash, and don't talk down about him, man. I don't like that, Irsay. Anyway, I'll move off of that. But there's a mess in that backfield in the Colts. T-Money, whether they retain JT or not, what happens with this backfield? Looking at the Indy backfield, T-Money, if you're the fantasy manager, I'm going to tell you the following players. You tell me which of these players are hot and which ones are cold. Remember, they also have Kenyon Drake that they brought in. Zach Moss is injured, but he's supposed to be back, so you can include him. Deion Jackson, Evan Hall. Got 4 guys and JT. If JT stays, what happens? If JT goes, what happens? Who's hot? Who's cold?
I wouldn't touch anyone in that backfield if JT is there. He'll be a every down back.
Is JT hot? Even if he goes back and he's not happy, is he
Yeah,
still be?
he'll still be a top 10 running back.
Okay.
He's not going to be top 5 because Anthony Richardson's going to take some of those touches away from him and touchdowns away from him as well. I think if he's gone, I think Zach Moss is the guy on the roster I would lean towards just out of my personal experience, but it could be any of them. I'm really not sure. I think it's going to be more of a committee. I think the big thing to keep an eye out for is Kareem Hunt coming in. He's a guy that can handle all 3 downs, has proven to be elite in this league. It currently isn't on a team, could be a team-friendly deal, and that guy could run your entire backfield.
Oh, okay. Kareem Hunt. I don't know where he's sitting right now in terms of the rankings, but he's down there. He's 79. RB 79. He'll vault up that board if that happens.
Hey, I have a feeling they don't trade him. So that's I would say they don't get a trade done.
Well, let me ask you this second half of the question. If you're an NFL owner, you going for JT?
Yeah, I would. I think the biggest thing people got to think about is whoever trades for him most likely agreed to give him a contract extension, right?
Yeah, right. They're going to give him probably a 3-year, 4-year extension.
That's my thing. Is how much are you willing to pay, and how much of a pay cut is Jonathan Taylor willing to take? Like, is he asking for big money like Saquon, or is he okay getting paid maybe 3 years, 25 million guaranteed, 3 years, 30 million, 25 million guaranteed, on top of this? So I think there's options, with him if he just plays it smart. Like a team like the Dolphins would be great. A team like the Bills would be great. Not fantasy-wise for owners like myself and James Cook, but I think there's options out there. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't see him wanting to take that kind of market deal. He would probably want something bigger, and I'm not sure there's a lot of those contracts out there right now.
And Irsay wants a first-round pick, so they're going to have to do that in addition to the money.
Yeah, he's not going to get a first. Make it tough. So unless they're willing to get a second, they're not going to trade him.
Yeah, well, and I've also heard rumblings that it might, the Bills might be the one. The Bills,
as long as they trade James Cook to Indy.
If there's a team out there that's going to do this, it's going to be one that's on the verge of, the Super Bowl. Now, this is going to be the piece that gets them to the Super Bowl. I don't see someone, at the lower echelons, someone that's not, going to make the playoffs, going to do JT.
Yeah. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
All right. Hey, let's keep moving. Let's move to take or mistake, T-Money. Good input there. Take a mistake, T-Money. I'm going back to a guy I asked you about early on in a few shows ago. And these are all surprises of Team Money. I'm going to pick a player that's on the cusp of fantasy greatness. Team Money is going to say whether he wants that person in the fantasy draft or on his fantasy team or fantasy starter, or would that be a mistake? I'm starting off at quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. He's the darling of New York, but if he knows that if he makes mistakes, he's going to be, taking some heat very quickly. He was QB 21 in fantasy points per game last year among quarterbacks who played at least 10 games. The Jets defense is one of the best in the league, so Rodgers may not be involved in shootouts. T-Money, are you going to start Aaron Rodgers on your fantasy team in week 1 against Buffalo, or would that be a mistake?
No, I'm not keeping Aaron Rodgers in my top 12 quarterbacks at the moment. I would rather have guys like Tua or Dak or Deshaun, just with some rushing upside, some larger fantasy upside, just because of the better weapons. And because Aaron Rodgers, like you said, last year at QB 21, he's got to go prove that he's fantasy relevant again. And I think that that's going to be a run first team more than people think. They have a great dynamic duo at running back. And so, yeah, I don't know. I don't see Aaron Rodgers cracking the top 12 this year unless he goes back to being a monster quarterback like he was a few years ago.
Yeah. Well, I got ESPN. What are they projecting here for Rodgers here?
I have QB 16.
Looks like 16 points, 16 fantasy points for Rodgers in week 1. So that is kind of what you're saying. It's going to be low in that range, maybe lower. Is what you're saying. That'd be a mistake to start him, right?
Yeah, that's a mistake.
Yeah. Okay, I'm kind of agreeing with you there. All right, let's go to running back. I'm going to pick one that is well known, DeAndre Swift. They appear to be in a committee there in the Eagles' backfield, but Swift has been praised as a play any down back. Quoted in The Athletic, it appears Kenneth Gainwell is the leader of the committee and probably the most reliable, with Swift maybe as number 2, but they also have Rashad Penny, Trey Sermon. They've got a lot of weapons there. It doesn't seem like relying on him to carry a large workload, given his injury history, Team Money, is what they're going to do. So his upside's kind of capped. Team Money, are you going to start DeAndre Swift week 1 against the Patriots, or would that be a mistake?
Oh man, I am not completely sold on Gainwell at the moment, or Swift at the moment, just because, like you said, Gainwell seems to be gaining traction here. Very interesting situation, and it seems like maybe none of these guys will be fantasy reliable. So I'm very, very concerned here about this. I thought Gainwell would be the 2-minute back, and maybe that's what everyone's saying is he's the most reliable because he can run through the tackles.
Yeah, he's been in on the 2-minute drills in the preseason. Yeah.
So I think that that's what everyone's saying when Gainwell kind of runs it, as he's the main guy in the biggest moments, or when they're trying to give the defense different looks. But Swift's going to be the pass catcher. Penny's going to be the goal line guy. That's going to be the main set. Yeah, I'm very intrigued to see how this all fleshes out, but I would not want a part of that, especially with Jalen Hurts as a rushing quarterback. I just want no part of that backfield, really.
Either none of them are going to score fantasy points or several of them are going to score because their offense will be rolling.
Yeah, I'm not sold on this as a fantasy relevant backfield. That's kind of where my head's at the moment.
Okay. We got, I'm looking at ESPN here, see where these guys are predicted for week 1, and they're down on the board, man. They're low on the board. So this is going to be, I got Swift at 10 points projected. Wow. Okay. That's going to surprise some people when they go to start DeAndre Swift week 1.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the last one for us here on take or mistake. We got 2 mistakes so far by Team Money. Let's see if we can get a take here, what his take is. A little bit different angular Team Money. I'm looking at the Kansas City Chiefs whole team there. The starters, although they have some good backups, Kadarius Toney, MVS, and Sky Moore are the registered starters projected in week 1. Team Money, which receiver on the Chiefs are you starting in week 1 And which one would be a mistake to start if you're looking at those three?
I like Sky more. I think right now his
Okay.
value is actually going lower than Kadarius Toney's. I think they have very similar floors. And I think Sky Moore has a pretty big ceiling, actually. He's going to be on the field for most sets. He got a lot of first team reps in the preseason. He's kind of the new version of Tyreek Hill. I know Tony is kind of their gadget guy. I know people want to compare him to Hill, but it's really Sky Moore that's stretching the field. I like Sky Moore out of all the pass catchers. I would want him on my team for sure. I don't know about a starter day one, just because of the depth at the receiver position overall. But I really like Sky Moore out of that wide receiver group.
Right, but the question is, which of those he's starting week one?
Well, I guess that's my answer then. I would rather start none. How about that?
Okay. So they all would be a mistake.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sky Moore projected on ESPN for 11 fantasy points. 11 not anything to write home about, but double digit. And the other guys are lower than that. So
yeah,
that's why I asked the question. I wanted to see if you thought someone might, bust out of that group. And you're a little bit calm on that, although you think Sky Moore is number one. I agree with you there. And I just don't see MVS being consistent enough. Yeah, he can make a big play. And Kadarius Toney, man, he's injured all the time. The guy's got potential. But, man, I guess I'm with you, man. I just don't know if I would start any of these guys in week one. But, hey, T-Money, great pick in there. Mistake. I got 3 mistakes out. You got to work. G-Man's got to work on his picks for next week. Try to get T-Money to take some of those picks. Hey, we hope you're loving the Father, Son, and Holy Sport NFL Rundown. And now the Fantasy Show next week. Look for big bets. Look for our segments and clips wherever you get your podcast, your social, and check out our website, FatherSonAndHolySport.com. On behalf of T-Money, I'm G-Man. See you next week.
Peace.